Okay, that's the last one. Okay, that's the last one. Let me show you what we got here.
But before we do that, let me take you back to how all of this started when I planted these tomatoes. Okay, I planted these seeds about a week before this photo was taken in these fibrous pots in the bottom of that, well, that container that they're sitting in, that big flat container. And I like to do it this way because what you can do is put the pots in the container and then just fill the container up with about 1/4 of an inch of water, 1/2 an inch, something like that, and the fibrous pots will soak up the water, and that way you don't have to water each little pot and sprinkle them down or something. You just have to keep some water in the container, and it works really well.
Well, okay, these are some tomatoes that I planted from seed, but as you can see, they're starting to come up. Now, this one was the first one to come up. Now, there's a light over there, you can see, and look at that. From over here, it's already reaching. So this one's the second one to come up, and then there's other ones that are starting to pop up here. So what I've got to do is I've got to put this in the light so that it doesn't reach, and I have a place right up here. Let me show you. It's right up here on top. So I'm going to move it over here and put it there so that it gets direct lighting, so that those will grow without doing the spindly reach thing. So hang on just a second while I move those. Okay, so there they are in place. As you can see, there was that one that was leaning way over, and now the light's straight up. So hopefully these will grow straight up and have enough light that they won't start getting spindly. We've got about 5 varieties here, 6 varieties. There's Flindingle Bongo Saved Seeds. I can't remember. That's a strange variety of something. I don't remember what it is, but you can see those. Red Cherry Hybrid, Apple, Purple Cherry, Brandywine, Ukraine, I think, and Roma. Now the Ukraine ones are saved seeds, and the Brandywine I can't recall. But anyway, we'll let it grow here and see how it grows, and we'll go from there. First day back here under the lights, and you can see they're reaching straight up now, and hopefully the light's strong enough that they'll start to not be spindly anymore. But anyway, they're doing well, and they're coming up. It's the 10th of April today, and I've gotten my sundeck greenhouse going, and we're going to try something different this year. Instead of the floating raft that I have up here, I'm going to put these in pots and let the floating raft system just keep them watered. So I've got Roma, red cherry tomatoes, and these are what we call flavor bombs, and that's what they're called in the store. They're really good tomatoes. They're hybrid, so I'm not sure what we're actually going to get out of this. But these are ones that we saved. And these are purple cherry. And these are Brandywine tomatoes. And this is a Ukraine tomato, another saved heirloom type tomato. And there's another cherry tomato hybrid. So we're going to let those grow and see how they do. A little note on this last one here. This is a red cherry hybrid. I didn't plant this pot at all. I planted this one, pulling it out, roots and all out of the pot it was growing in, and planting it in there. So I hope it does well. The rest of these, yeah, you can see this one clearly, were planted right in the pots, and we'll see how they grow. They should grow right through the pots. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so here we are the next day, and it looks like these all survived the transplant. Now this is the one I was the most worried about because, like I told you, I didn't transplant the pot with this one. I just pulled it. I actually just pulled it right out of the out of the pot that it was in, and just put it in here and soaked it down. And it looks like it did all right. Now, here's one here that probably did the worst. This is a red cherry hybrid, and I guess they weren't looking too good when I put them in here, but they look like they're surviving. The leaves are okay, so we'll just let it go. But anyway, this looks like it's a successful transplant, and we'll let these grow out here, and it should work. Well, good morning. Today it's mid-April, and generally around where I live, you don't start planting things outside until it's probably about the 1st of June. But I've got a greenhouse, and boy, that makes a lot of difference. And today what we're going to do is start to replant these tomatoes. Now these wintered over, and as you can see, they didn't make it through the winter. But this is a great place to plant those tomatoes. So what I'm going to do today is to take all this down, clean it up, and replant these tomatoes from some seedlings that I grew. I planted them about a month ago, I think, maybe a little longer than that. But they're inside. Let me show you what they look like right now. All right, here are those tomato plants, and there's about 5 different varieties in there, and they've been growing under these lights for about a month, a little more than a month. But let me grab that tray and take it out of there, and we'll bring it into the greenhouse. Okay, here are those tomato plants. Now, here's what I've got. Let's see. I planted these originally as rows, and there are the identification tags on them. So now this one here is called Flavor Bomb. This is something I got out of the store that were really tasty tomatoes. They're hybrids, so I don't know what we're going to get out of that. But I've got red cherry hybrids, and then I've got here purple cherry tomatoes right there, and I've got Brandywine, 2 of those, and then I've got something called a Ukraine tomato, and then there's 2 Roma tomatoes. Now what I'm going to do is, of course, tear all of this out and plant them over here where all of these dead tomato plants are. Okay, that's the last one. Let me show you what we got here. Okay, what I've done is I've got 6 of them planted, I guess, and this first one here is the Flavor Bomb, and we don't know what that's going to be because it's a hybrid. Bought it out of the grocery store in the produce section. And this one here is red cherry tomatoes, regular sweet cherry tomatoes. And this one here is purple cherry tomatoes. And this one here is a Brandywine tomato. And this one here is a Roma tomato. And this is a Ukraine tomato. So what we're going to do now is let them grow and see what they turn into, and then we're going to suspend them. As you can see, I've got hooks and things up here, and we're going to suspend them up here and just let them grow in here and train them up on a vine, train them up on a string, and see what we get. Now these tomato plants I planted about a week ago, I think, maybe around a week ago, and I just wanted to show you how they're doing. These came out of that same set of seedlings I planted, and as you can see, they're all really doing well in here. And even this one here that I was sure was going to die, they've come back, and that one's trying to grow. Anyway, we're going to let that grow, and then basically train them onto these strings that go up, and these ought to do just fine.